Hello everybody and welcome to Brands Hatch, and once again, as you can see, it's an absolutely glorious day here. But wait, getting a few reports coming in. It sounds like, yes, we've got thunder on the way. That's because the British Truck Racing Championship are here, and alongside the pickups, the 2CVs and the MGs, boy oh boy, we have a feast of motorsport for you here today. Get yourself strapped in, get yourself a nice cup of coffee, because it's about to get very, very loud indeed.
Thanks very much, Ian. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BARC TV here at Brands Hatch, the home of motorsport in southeast England. Rumours of thunder in the air will be confirmed a little bit later on. In fact, very shortly, when the British Truck Racing Championship comes out for their first of 3 races here today. Fine weather here at Brands Hatch in Kent, not far east of London. My name's Dave Goddard, taking you through the action here across the course of the day. A very busy lineup of truck racing. We've got the Pickup Truck Racing Championship as well. We will have the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship, MGs Young and Old. They've just finished their qualifying session. We also have the 2CVparts.com Classic Citroen 2CV Racing Championship. If you've not seen them before, we've got a treat coming up. And we'll also have a feature just after the lunch break from the UK National Legends Cars Championship as well. Here's how the racing's going to play out today. We begin fairly shortly with the first truck race of the day. That's coming up in just under 15 minutes from now. That's followed by the Pickup Truck Racing Championship with their first 20-minute race of the day. Then after the lunch break, we will have a race for the UK National Legends. Then the first Citroen 2CV race of the day, followed by the opener for the MGs. Then it's the British Truck Racing Championship again, and then a short break before the second pickup truck race. Then the Citroen 2CVs, the MGs, and finally the Truck Racing Championship closes out the day. The trucks will be on the grid fairly shortly then, but earlier on today, as we were getting ready in the paddock, our race interviewer Ian Waterhouse caught up with some of the drivers down in the paddock.
I'm lucky enough to be here with Division 2 racer Adam Bint. Adam, yesterday you took the win, didn't you? Congratulations. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, we knew how to get the start and try and make a gap, so we made a gap. I pushed a little bit hard and got the tyres overheated, so the last few laps were holding on and being defensive, but because we're not used to this lovely weather at Brands Hatch, it was a bit hotter than we're
not used to this
here.
weather in the UK at all.
Well, yeah, but we managed with the new chassis is working absolutely perfectly that we built last year, so we're hoping to go out and get some more trophies today.
There's a lot of action over a weekend for the trucks, isn't there? You've got 5 races in total, haven't you? You've done 2 so far. Is it a case of managing the process in the early races and then you can push a bit harder later on, or is it just hell for leather the whole way?
You've got to be a bit tactical with one. You've got to finish the first race to then start the whole weekend off.
That's true.
And then try and not get any damage, because a bad knock to the steering can end your weekend if you bend the axle or anything like that. So you've got to be a bit dubious, but once the red mist sets in, you're ready to go racing and you want to win. So
yeah.
And if you didn't want to win, then you wouldn't be racing.
You wouldn't be here, and win you certainly did yesterday. I've got a quick question actually. Your truck is slightly different to some of the others. You've obviously got the longer bonnet here. What's the difference? Why do some have the longer bonnet? Why are some just straight flat?
This is an American Volvo White Aerodyne, so it's actually a 1989 model.
Wow.
And that's just what the Americans run with, because the engines used to sit right out the front and the cab right back.
It's certainly a crowd pleaser, I tell you that. Adam, best of luck for the next race, won't you? Thanks for talking to us. I promise you I'll catch up with you, didn't I? There you go. Cheers,
Thank
Adam.
you very much. Cheers.
Adam Bint. Right, here we are with John Willis. John, talk us through your weekend so far. It's been exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been great fun. It's different, the first time out, getting to learn the track, getting to meet the people. Had a few offs, good experience.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We was just getting to grips in the last race. We had some steering problems, so hopefully today we get the steering sorted.
Yeah.
And be on pace and have a good race. Have a good first race.
Having a chat to some of your team actually, said it's fine. You'll be able to get it sorted, so you'll be okay for.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be okay. Hopefully in about the next 45 minutes we'll be all done and back on the floor and giving it a wash, ready for the first race.
I imagine it's been quite a steep learning curve this weekend, isn't it?
Very. Coming into Division 1, straight from not doing any truck racing. It is a steep learning curve. There's a lot of fast boys out there,
Yeah.
I've been doing it many years. To come straight into it, nerve-wracking, You don't want to cause anyone else any damage, but we're here and we're in it.
So what have you done before? Because how do you go from like just almost nothing to trucks? So what had you done before?
Done like oval track racing.
Yeah.
So you know, like on stock car tracks, but not stock cars. A bit like the silhouettes that are here today.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
On oval tracks. So coming from that to this, you know, we just go right all the time on an oval track. Coming into truck racing, you know, completely different thing.
You have to handle chicanes and all sorts of stuff, don't you, in these things?
Completely different. Yeah, it's great fun though. Real good fun.
Excellent. What's the plan for the next race? Just attack, or just preserve?
Yeah, I believe I'm off the back of the Division 1 pack to start with. So my aim is to keep on the pace, keep in front of Division 2 boys, and keep on the pace of Division 1 and get to grips with it.
Fantastic. Plenty of opportunities today.
I know there will be. Great weather as well for it.
Oh, it's glorious, isn't it? I have to get the old lotion out, I think. John, best of luck. Thanks for chatting to us.
Brilliant.
Best of luck for the race. That's John Willis. Right, here we are with Brad Smith. Brad, just talk us through yesterday, first of all. How did it go for you?
Yeah, both races are really, really good. We've got it set up really well now, so we'll just hopefully a bit more progression, we'll get a win.
There's plenty of opportunity today, isn't there? 3 races in total, of course, the first one of the day coming up. Does the heat play a factor?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's good for the tyres because they get hot quicker, but also you got heat on the engine, and if you're following someone close, it gets temperature rises. So, but yeah, you have to be careful.
The temperature rise in the tyres. What's it like sat in the cockpit?
Very
Actually
hot,
roasting
very,
in there,
very
isn't
hot. Yeah.
Because you're not allowed bottles of water and stuff in there,
No,
are you?
no.
You mentioned there's a pace in there to get a win today. Do you think?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, we can get a good start and keep them behind. Then yeah.
Top man, Brad Smith. Best of luck for the race, and you will be watching.
All right, cheers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brad Smith. Right, here we are with Division 1 racer Stuart Oliver. Stuart, it's been quite an eventful weekend so far, hasn't it? Talk about your first 2 races first of all. How have they gone for you?
Yeah, very good, very good. You know, we've done a lot of work over the lockdown period, as I'm sure everybody else has, to the trucks, and so yesterday was the first chance to go out and try it, and we're more than happy with how it's turned out, and you know, the 2 races.
Okay, so trucks lining up on the grid then. We'll give you the grid for this first truck race of the day. This will be a 15-minute race. And in pole position it is number 157, Jonathan Willis. The reverse grid being used from yesterday's finishing order, with the Division 1 trucks at the front, Division 2 behind. So Jonathan Willis starts on pole in truck number 157. Number 81, Mark Taylor alongside him. Second row, number 18, John Newell, and number 7, the 10 times champion and former European champion, Stuart Oliver. Row 3, number 11, Martin Gibson, and alongside him will be number 1, Ryan Smith, because David Jenkins, number 69, got a penalty after some contact in yesterday's race. He has to start at the back of the Division 1 trucks. Then there's a gap, and we've got Division 2. That's headed up by number 10, Craig Evans. Division 2 for the slightly less powerful, less modified trucks. Alongside him is number 32, Jock Borthwick. Then we have the reigning Division 2 champion, number 3, Stephen Powell, and 68 of Craig Reed. Behind them, number 16, Brad Smith, and number 5, yesterday's winner of the second race, Adam Bintz. And finally, we should have 41, Simon Cole, and number 6, John Powell. I don't think those 2 trucks are there, but we do have an extra truck right at the back, number 46, Bradley Smith. So we've got 2 Brad Smiths in this race. Nice and confusing for us commentators. Bradley Smith in number 46 in his Iveco. Didn't race yesterday, but he is here today and is at the back of the field. Before we get this race underway, I'm delighted to introduce my co-commentator, a great character around the truck racing paddock and the man with all the info from down in the paddock area. It's the one and only Pointy. Pointy, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are we?
Not too bad, thanks. Yourself?
Absolutely fantastic. Yes, I'm up here on the commentary tower at Brands Hatch, looking down onto quite a fresh-looking grid lineup this morning. Yes, you said earlier on that we've got Bradley Smith joining us at the back of the Division 2 pack today. He completed 3 laps at the end of yesterday's truck race in the afternoon, so that the clerk of the course would allow him to enter the race today. Also looking at some repairs going on last night. Obviously we've got Jock Borthwick back with us again. Quite a turn for the books actually with Dave Jenkins that you mentioned getting a penalty, as of course all the records we've got from Tia Sallenbach at the moment still show him in 6th position starting this morning, but obviously we don't see that on the grid. It sounds like we're getting some engines started and the pit alarm has gone off, so I'll hand back over to you now, Dave, to get the race underway.
Okay, thanks very much, Pointy. We're missing a couple of trucks, as we say, from Division 2, Simon Cole and John Powell. They had problems yesterday. Simon Cole in the pink Mercedes Artigo, John Powell in the DAF. They had some issues yesterday. Hopefully we'll see them out later on today. Bradley Smith, the son of Tony Smith, who raced in this championship in the past, number 46 in a Sisu, among other things, a Finnish-built truck, but Bradley in an Iveco starting from the back. We get them rolling then. This will be a 15-minute race. Ryan Smith in Division 1 in the new Mercedes Actros, going for a hat-trick in the ex-Norbert Kiss European Championship race-winning Mercedes. Stephen Powell, the reigning Division 2 champion, won the first race yesterday, was mired in traffic really in the second one, and it was Adam Bint who held off repeated attacks from Brad Smith in the number 16 to take the win. We're on board with the MAN of Martin Gibson, number 11, on the second row, the Team Oliver run truck. Great view here as we head up towards Druids Hill Bend. Jonathan Willis and Mark Taylor on the front row. They got in a bit of a tangle with David Jenkins at the start of the second race yesterday. Jenkins, with that penalty, starts from the back of Division 1. A great field we have it there. There's Craig Reed, the red Iveco. There is Adam Bint in the, well, it's a Volvo white, the truck's called. We call it the Volvo black and orange. Used to be blue and white. The American-built truck, 1989 vintage, as he mentioned in his interview earlier. So this will be a 15-minute race then. The DAF pace truck from 7 Group leading them round. First of 3 races today then for the British Truck Racing Championship on the short Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch. The quickest trucks lap this circuit in under 1 minute. Jonathan Willis, his first truck race meeting, the ex-short oval hot rod racer on pole position. Can anyone stop flying Ryan Smith in the new Mercedes? Craig Evans and Jock Borthwick, another newcomer, head the Division 2 trucks. Here we go then, the pace truck into the pit lane, up towards the red lights. When they go out, we will be underway and racing. Waiting for the lights to go out. 15 minutes of truck racing about to get underway. The power comes on, and here we go, down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Almost 1,000 horsepower from most of these engines. They charge their way into Paddock Hill Bend. Jonathan Willis has run a little bit wide on the exit and he's into the gravel. John Willis into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend, and Stuart Oliver ploughs through the gravel as well. That was nearly a carbon copy of the start of the second race yesterday. Mark Taylor, number 81, has the lead, and in Division 2 it's 2 by 2 into Druids. There's contact there between Craig Evans and Borthwick in the 32 as they start to stream their way down towards Graham Hill Bend. Number 81, Mark Taylor, has the lead.
Yes, unfortunate start to the race there for John Willis as he sits now in the gravel. We will be seeing any lights coming out to bring that race to a standstill or not. We can't see any flags just yet, although I think the marshals will be getting very close now to putting out some yellows. Yes, we have marshals coming out onto the track now with the yellow flags. Just a replay now of that John Willis. We also see Stuart Oliver taking a little bit of a detour there as well, but of course that little bit of extra experience getting him back on the track. And I do now see as well the red lights flashing around the circuit as the race is brought to a complete stop. Again, like you said, Dave, almost a carbon copy of what we had in the first race yesterday. The truck's now regridding. Looks like the marshals quick off the mark there to get them lined up again for a definite restart. What a shame for John Willis. He doesn't seem to be able to find his groove this weekend, does he, Dave?
Well, he's made some deep grooves in the gravel trap. He's stuck there on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. It looks like he's been on the Dakar Rally. That's number 157 MAN. He just went too wide there through Paddock. There was contact in yesterday's race. I don't think there was any this time. He just ran out wide there. Stuart Oliver went off as well. He ended up in the gravel yesterday too. But the race is red flagged. The race has been stopped, and the truck's being lined up by the marshals on the grid for a restart at the moment. Hopefully John Willis will be recovered and will be able to join in again. I imagine he will join in from the pit lane. That's what happened in yesterday's race. The trucks that went off rejoined from the pit lane, started from the back. So Division 2 being lined up. Craig Evans in his MAN on pole, the newer shape MAN of number 32. Jock Borthwick alongside him. And we can try and get another replay of that incident on the first turn, see what happened to Jonathan Willis there. Let's see what's happened there then. John Willis just ran out wide. He didn't get the brakes on quickly enough for the first bend, and into the gravel he went. Stuart Oliver running wide over the gravel as well. He was able to keep going, but John Willis unfortunately got stuck. Great clouds of dust there as they headed up towards Druids Bend. Division 2 getting through on the inside. Good start by Adam Bint there in the number 5. So they're lining up once again, ready for a restart. We'll try and see how the recovery of John Willis's truck is going. There is the Dines recovery vehicle, the big 4-axle DAF. If you wondered what's needed to tow a race truck, you can see it there, thanks to the recovery team assisting our marshalling team here at Brands Hatch. Thanks to the volunteer marshals, the Orange Army as they're known. We couldn't go racing without them. If you want to become a volunteer marshal, then you can look online for the BARC Marshals Club. We can follow at BARC Marshal on Twitter for the BARC Marshals Club. The website is barc.net, and the British Motorsport Marshals Club very active as well.
Just looking down now onto the track, looks like all the doors are open again. Still quite a mild morning here at Brands Hatch, but looking at the weather forecast for the rest of the day, we might be expecting a change in conditions before the afternoon race at 2:25 comes on. Yes, as you said earlier on, the guys from Trackside Recovery now looking at John Willis, pulling him off, hopefully not too much longer over there now. He's in relatively a good position, not too far away from the edge of the tarmac. Quite impressive performance though from Bradley Smith, of course, relatively newcomer to the sport last year, didn't get a huge amount of races in, and officially his first go around Brands Hatch circuit as well. So the 3 practice laps they did yesterday to be able to qualify for today's race was indeed the first time he'd ever been around this track in a truck. So we'll definitely be watching him for the remainder of this race this morning to see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, hopefully he will be able to rejoin here the brand new DAF pace truck from 7 Group, a 21 plate truck heading back out. He'll pick up the field. Great to see over 400 of you watching on YouTube already. Thanks very much indeed.
Yes, the nicely named Bam Bam pace truck from WDE, driven today by Joanne Eason, none other. Speaking to her earlier on in the paddock with her freshly air-sprayed Ayrton Senna helmet. She's saying that she was hoping to be back on the circuit this year, but unfortunately because her engine has been hauled up with all of the COVID victims over in Europe, she's been unable to get the machine back on the track. So hopefully a 2022 season to get Joanne Eason back into the sport.
Yes, Joanne and Wayne have concentrated on running trucks for other drivers. They've been working with Paul Rivette, I know, over the last couple of years. A shame Paul isn't out this weekend because of work commitments.
Yes, indeed. Apparently he did definitely want to be here, but obviously at the moment, the way the bounce back of the country's been going after all of the lockdowns, huge amounts of work is out there to be done. And although, of course, sport is an enjoyable thing for both involved and taking part as competitors, work unfortunately does come first, Dave, no?
Going, and it's come up on the timing screen. We're going to have a 14-minute restart, so 1 minute's been knocked off, so effectively 1 lap has been knocked off this race by the TSL timekeepers, as Jonathan Willis's truck is slowly and carefully recovered from the gravel. The ex-Ryan Smith MAN, Jonathan from Birmingham, a newcomer to truck racing this weekend, as we heard earlier. Somebody on YouTube saying they should perhaps try and race the recovery truck instead. I did see a recovery truck get raced at, I think it was at Zandvoort many years ago in the 80s when truck racing first started, and it was any truck you can get straight off the road and into a race. I'm sure I saw a breakdown truck out in one of those races once.
I wouldn't be surprised that the heritage of the truck racing industry is definitely of you arrive it, you drive it, run what you brung, as some of the kids nowadays would understand it being called. Yes, take the windscreens out, take the windows down and just race around a track and then take it back to work the day after. They didn't even used to change their brakes and tyres. But John Willis's father, in fact, telling me a little story about the history of truck racing yesterday, about when he made a makeshift brake cooling system out of 2 washer pumps and some bottles of water on the back of one of their road-going trucks back in the day. Apparently claims to be one of the first water-cooled brake systems in the industry.
Oh, that is brilliant. I know the Willis family quite well from their short oval background, and that's typical of the Willises from their hot rod and super rod racing days. I'm sure they did a few makeshift bodges like that on their cars as well. But mentioning the run what you brung element of truck racing, that was how the first event was at Donington. I think it was the end of 1984 that the first British truck Super Prix took place, and it was Italian Tullio Ghislotti who won the first event, dumped his load off the trailer in the paddock and raced the tractor unit. My father was there on that occasion. We used to work on the speed governors for the trucks, among other things, in his previous working life. Working on these trucks, of course, limited to 100 miles an hour, and that was one of his jobs as a truck racing official. So when I was very small, we got to go to all the big truck racing events, and that's how I got into the sport. Looking on board here from Martin Gibson's truck, looking back and forth from the MAN as he waits patiently for the restart. You can see from that shot just how cramped the cabs of these trucks are, can't you?
Yes, there is a lot going on in those cabs. They look huge from the outside. A lot of people thinking that these, of course, are still trucks, but they're essentially just race cars with truck bodies on them. So these vehicles are built from the ground up in motorsport garages. We've got race suspension, we've got racing brakes. Obviously, everything has been upgraded. Although, weirdly, the engines themselves and the gearboxes are still factory-going standard fitting. But the chassis and the setup of the vehicles is, of course, race spec all the way through. And a lot of these cabs as well don't actually belong on tractor units as they look to be in the racing circuits. No, they're usually coming off the smaller rigid body trucks, but of course used in the context that we see down here on the grid today. It does have a fantastic, slightly smaller, sporty looking effect. Just to bring attention to the new sponsorship from Core Fresh on Steve Powell's trailer yesterday. You put a truck yesterday, you pointed it out to me, Dave, and I was a bit shocked actually. I was thinking, yes, I'm so used to seeing that yellow truck. I was like, who is this new sponsor? I actually got chatting to a couple of the guys last night down at the Portobello, and lovely bunch of people, and very excited to be part of the truck racing this year for 2021. I can hear engines going, Dave. I'm not sure whether you can see from your feed whether John Willis is back on the track yet.
Yes, he is. He's just coming around Surtees corner now towards the end of the lap. So John Willis, I would imagine, is going to head into the pit lane and start from there. We'll just wait and see. But well done to the recovery crews who've got him out there. Mentioning the Portobello, that's the Powell family's own pub, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Host to many off-circuit parties in the history of truck racing, and quite a big name down here at Brands Hatch as well is the Powell family as a whole. Of course, you mentioned earlier on John Powell being part of the truck racing weekend this weekend. Of course, Graham Powell as well, another brother, unfortunately not joining us for the 2021 season. Did actually a moonlight last year slightly, I believe, but of course this year didn't decide to come through with another entrance, unfortunately. But maybe we might see something from them later on in the year.
Yes, hopefully we will. And the Portobello apparently does excellent food. Our camera crews can testify to that. So we're almost ready for a restart then. Jonathan Willis will be starting from the pit lane. We see his truck just being checked over by his mechanics there. The Dawson Direct Willis Truck Sport MAN. It'll be a 14-minute restart. And Mark Taylor starts alone on the front row in the Taylor's haulage number 81 MAN. Started as a sponsor of Ryan Smith in his days with the MANs, now in that Mercedes Actros, the first Actros we've seen in the British Championship, the other Mercedes of course being Simon Cole. Hopefully we'll see him out later on. And it's in the colours of the Mercedes Formula One team as well, the black with the turquoise trim. We've rechristened Ryan Smith the Lewis Hamilton of truck racing.
Yes, of course, and as they get ready now to start the race, we look actually at the position of John Newell down back to the right of Mark Taylor and wonder what's going to happen there. Is he going to try and take the inside line from the next row down to try and take the first position away from Mark Taylor? That could be an interesting first corner again. Let's see whether Mark Taylor closes that door sufficiently, and of course at the same time having to defend from Stuart Oliver to not let him around the outside at the same time. Another nail-biting start to, or the restart to this race, Dave.
Yes, here they go then. The green flag's waved by the marshals and they start to roll away. Bradley Smith at the back in his Iveco number 46. John Newell now on the front row, the man from South Yorkshire, runs a tanker lorry business. It's a new truck for him this year, that's MAN. Mark Taylor on the front of the grid in the 81. Stuart Oliver, 10 times a champion. He's won a European title as well. One of the all-time greats of truck racing in the UK and in Europe. Beautiful day here at Brands Hatch. 14 minutes for this restart then. Oh, thanks for your patience while the recovery job took place there. The 7-group pace truck leads them round with Joanne Eason, one of Britain's leading ladies of truck racing, on board. This will be 14 minutes. Division 2 keeping their gap to the Division 1 drivers. Craig Evans and Jock Borthwick, newcomer all the way from southern Scotland, in the number 32, leading them round. So this will be the third race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Keeping it steady behind the pace truck. They'll be unleashed once again as they go into Paddock Bend. Pace truck will be heading into the pit lane on board with Martin Gibson. There goes the pace truck into pit lane. Gibson positioning himself tight to the inside to try and get up the inside. Mark Taylor positioning himself to try and move across as soon as the red lights go out and hold off John Newell. He's got to be wary of Stuart Oliver as well. Here we go. Division 2 trucks are flagged away with the Union flag. The second group, they head down towards Paddock Bend for the first time. It is Mark Taylor who has held his lead. Stuart Oliver round the outside in the number 7. John Newell in third place in the number 18. But it's Taylor who leads the way in the number 81 as they head up towards Druids for the first time. And Ryan Smith around the outside. Ryan Smith could get third place here. Not the best of starts for Martin Gibson in the number 11. Oh, we've got a tangle. Adam Bint and Jock Borthwick are in the gravel at Paddock Bend. Disaster in Division 2. And yesterday's winner could well be out of the race and we could be seeing another red flag.
Yes, I think so. Of course, having the bird's eye view over here, Dave, I saw that happen slightly before you. Coming into the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend, just before the climb into Howwood Hill, I do believe Jock Borthwick just slightly lost the back end there, of course, getting in the way of Adam Bint, perhaps coming together slightly as they both ended up in the gravel. Of course, as you quite rightly said, we look like we may well be getting yet another red flag. Over onto the start of Mark Taylor, though. Really impressive start to the race. They're certainly showing a lot more performance coming up through the sport nicely from last year, really building on that experience, closing that door. John Newell then slipping even further behind Stuart Oliver, and of course Martin Gibson looking for a space past him as well. So quite an interesting first half a lap there for the Division 1. Of course Ryan Smith there battling through with Dave Jenkins at the back in his MAN powered Mercedes. So yes, quite an interesting start of Division 1. They managed to get round, and it appears to be Division 2's go at restarting the race now. But again, now we still see them lining back up, and let's hope that these recovery trucks can get us going. I wonder how long the restart is going to be. Well,
we'll hopefully see a replay of what happened there into Paddock Bend for Division 2 this time. It looked like Jock Borthwick spun around and Adam Bint hit the front of him. Nowhere for Adam to go there. Great cloud of dust as they went into the gravel trap. And another two trucks to be recovered there. Damage to the front of Adam Bint's Volvo white Aerodyne. I would imagine some damage to the 32 of Borthwick as well. Almost a head-on impact there. We see both the drivers are okay, that's the main thing, and Dyne's recovery are called in exactly the same point as where Jonathan Willis went off. And a double recovery job for Dynes this time. The team ready to go to work. Let's see how they do it. So they've got to hook up to the back of Jock Borthwick's truck first of all, but looking at the damage there, I don't think those two are going to be restarting.
Yes, I mean, there stands a possibility. Jock does appear, if I can just focus enough down there in the distance, to not be too badly scathed. However, you know, you don't know until they get them back onto the tarmac what condition they're going to be in. Adam Bint maybe, though, might be okay. Again, Jock was heading in a backwards direction when they came together, so hopefully there wasn't too much of a massive impact when that happened. We can see on the cameras now, though, we've got drivers out on the grid, probably having a little shout at each other. We've got helmets off as well. They're certainly going to be enjoying the race for the next few minutes whilst we get these two trucks recovered. Looks like they might be getting a slight talking to by David Cartwright, clerk of the course, at the moment as well. I'm sure there's going to be some pink ears when we have the second restart of the day.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright, the clerk of the course, just giving the drivers a bit of an additional briefing there, I think, just perhaps telling them to mind their P's and Q's through Paddock Bend there. There are a lot of trucks going for a small area of tarmac, and the driver just being told perhaps to take it easy until the field has spread out a little. It is first day back at school, of course, after a long break for the trucks. They haven't raced since Thruxton in the autumn of last year, most of these drivers, but they're all eager to get back racing, possibly tensions running a bit high, and the drivers just talking it out down there on the grid. The marshals keeping attendance. And we will try again as soon as we are able.
Looks
the
like
recovery truck still out on track. The operation still in progress down there at Paddock Bend. Jock Borthwick's truck facing backwards, bodywork off Adam Bint's lorry. Now here comes the 32 being pulled backwards out of the gravel. It's a delicate operation there, even with these 5-ton trucks being recovered. They can generate up to about 1,000 horsepower, these trucks as well. They're limited, as we say, to 100 miles an hour electronically. And I think we can go down to the grid in just a moment, where Ian Waterhouse, I think, has got a couple of the drivers with him.
Right, hello everybody, welcome down to the grid. We've had quite a hectic start so far, haven't we, to proceedings. So I've got Martin Gibson up here and David Jenkins as well. Let's just grab a quick word, shall we? Martin, Martin, quick word. It's been quite hectic out there so far, hasn't it? Two red flags, but you're out of danger, it seems.
Yeah, very, very hot though, sitting in that thing for 40 minutes.
We could be here for a little bit of time now as well, couldn't we?
I don't know what's going on. I've not seen what's gone on, so I'm a bit oblivious to it.
Well, I know certainly for the first red flag, I think John Willis, I think it just got a bit too hot and it looked just like a general drive error. I didn't see what happened actually for the second one.
No,
what was it like from where you were?
I didn't see anything. It was clear from where I was, so you're kind of looking down the track and it's all happening behind you or side of you. So
you just want to go racing, don't you? You just want to go racing.
Yeah, it's not good for these trucks to start, stop, the brakes get hot and then they sit in one position. So yeah, you just need to get going basically.
Definitely. Have a breather. I've got Stuart Oliver. Stuart, just very quickly, certainly in the first incident, you tapped the gravel a bit, but you kept on going. I didn't see what happened in the second one. Did you see what happened?
Well, the guy at the front was way out of position on the start. I think that sort of frustrated the other people, and I didn't see what happened behind. But no, the first start was rather exciting. But there wasn't an ice cream van, so I kept coming, got back on the track. So
what you're saying is next time if I put an ice cream van, you'll stop.
Stop and have a 99. But
you probably need one. It's roasted, isn't it?
hopefully we can get it right this time. But it's just, I think, you know, everybody's been out of action for so long with, you know, with the pandemic. Everybody's eager, and you know, I think, you know, once we get going,
is that what's just said? I know you just had a driver briefing. Was it just guys? Let's just get round the first corner, shall we?
Just settle down a bit, you know. So but yeah, everybody's buzzing for it, you know, and it's. But you know, I've been in the job a long time. You don't win the championship or the race at the first corner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. To finish first you got to finish, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, Stuart. Stay cool. We'll let you carry on. Ryan, just very quickly, it's difficult. You can't get in any sort of rhythm with this at the minute, can you? Just want to go racing, don't you?
Listen, the problem is, I don't know in all forms of motorsport, but everybody's trying to win in the first corner.
Yeah.
I let everybody pass. Let's get in single file, then sort it out then. Everybody's trying to do it in the first corner. Everybody's trying to be an hero. Everybody's trying to impress somebody, and it's just not possible with these monsters, is it? So
it's not. No.
Got to be patient. I feel sorry for the organisers. I feel sorry for the spectators who want to see a race, but you know, we can only do what we can do. We'll sit patient. I better not say too much in case I'm the cause of the next red flag. But
you won't be. I know
we'll try getting single file and have some good racing. But you know, it's not good for spectators. It's pushing the timetable back. It's tight enough as it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There's a lot of races today.
It's not good for the trucks.
Yeah.
When they're coming round and red flag in,
you've had to switch them all off, haven't you? They're two up.
No, but we'll try and press on. It's a nice day. Let's try and stay positive. This crowd back again.
Yeah.
You know, let's be positive.
Top man, great attitude, Ryan Smith. With certainly one of the best attitudes we've certainly got on the grid here. I think I better hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard. Here to see when we can get racing again. We really, really want to.
Well, the truck's waiting patiently on the grid then. Stuart Oliver, I love his comment there that drivers are spotting the ice cream van on the outside of Paddock Bend, and that's why they're going off, because they're all stopping for ice creams.
I mean, I don't blame them. The ice creams do look quite attractive, although they've had all morning, and of course we'll have all afternoon to grab ice creams from the concession stand. So let's hope they can stay undistracted for long enough to get this race finally underway this morning, Dave. As I see quite a few spectators sitting in the grandstand today, which is lovely to see so many people making the effort to come on out and enjoy the sunshine and the racing. But of course, the racing being the operative term, we want to see some trucks on track doing what they do best.
That's just given me an idea, talking about ice cream vans. We've got trucks racing. We've got pickups racing. Why not van racing as well? There's an idea.
I can't see why not, although I'm sure the marshals might get quite annoyed with having to clean up ice cream from the track, because I know gravel is bad enough as it is. Although I do believe in Europe they do actually have a van race series. So I think there's a Transits, Mercedes, Sprinters as an actual stripped down sports event, which I think would be a fantastic thing to have over in this country, especially with the amount of tradesmen out there who drive like Schumacher most of the time anyway.
Yes, I think it's in Eastern Europe somewhere. There is a Ford Transit championship. I'll look into that. So I know they've tried P100 pickups back in the late 80s on a couple of UK circuits, but that didn't work out. They didn't get the entries. But now we've got the pickup championship as we look at Jock Borthwick's number 32 in pit lane. The scrutineer's just checking it there. Some damage, quite a lot of damage to the front end. He spun and got hit head on by Adam Bint. And that is in quite a bad way there, that truck. The mechanics are frantically working away on it, and the scrutineers will determine if it is safe for that truck to continue racing. We hope that the Scotsman does get back out again. A long journey down from Hoyk in the south of Scotland to Kent to race here today. Who was the other driver from way up in towards the north of Scotland who used to race several years ago and used to put in the miles race? Was it Archie Argo?
You know better than I would. You know I've not got a head for names whatsoever, Davis. I'm quite poor when it comes to the history of these things. Of course, we can always remember Mr. O'Rourke from last year, who was racing in Shane Brereton's rented truck. That's pretty much as far back as I can remember, unfortunately. Signs of a misspent youth, Dave.
Yes, thanks very much. I think Ian's down there and can have a word with Jock Borthwick and his team, so we'll hand back down to Ian.
Right, hey guys, welcome back to the pit lane. This is Jock Broadwick. I'm going to see if I can grab a quick word of him. He's over here. They're taking the front bumper off, examining a bit of the damage. Jock, there's quite a bit of a little bit of damage. Let's just grab him in 2 seconds. He's just having a little look at the front of his truck. They've got to examine it. Makes you wonder if they can get it back out again. Let's stick with us just a little bit. We're not going racing for a bit yet, so we may as well hang around a little bit. We've got the BARC officials here. We've got the marshals too, just examining the damage. Jock Borthwick's truck here took a bit of a hit. In fact, it took a bit of a hit yesterday as well, didn't it? He was running in third yesterday in race 1. And I think ended up in the gravel too, unfortunately. You get a closer look at the action. Look at this. This is the driver, by the way. He's asking for a screwdriver now. They're going to try and get it fixed as quickly as they possibly can. Look at that, really getting his hands dirty. That is the driver there, Jock Broadwick, fixing his own truck here. Great stuff to see, isn't it? I really do want to grab a word with him though. Let me just stick around. I'm just going to shove. Jock, what's wrong with it? Is it fixable?
Yeah, I think it's flexible. We've split the fuel cooler in the gravel,
right.
So there's fuel leaking. So we'll just take the feed pipe off and put it direct into the engine and do away with the cooler.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully the rest of it will stay on.
I'm so impressed. I saw you doing it yourself. I was like, the driver's doing it himself.
So we'll get going, start for pit lane, so I'm looking forward to it.
Man, I'll let you crack on. There we go. Great to hear Jock Broadwick. He's going to start for the pit lane. He is going to go back racing. As you can see, quite a bit of damage, but they're going to go back racing. I'm going to hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard. Hopefully, we'll go racing very soon.
That's good to hear that Jock Borthwick is going to take the restart by the look of things. He's going to start from the pit lane, just some work on the fuel pipes on his truck there to bypass the fuel cooler that's broken, we're hearing on the 32. And we've almost got Adam Bint out of the gravel as well, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Thanks for your patience, everyone, while we have this enforced delay. Adam Bint's truck, I'm not sure that will be restarting. Looks like a fair bit of damage there.
Yeah, that is a real shame there, Dave, especially with the efforts that we saw from Adam Bint yesterday. Hopefully they'll be able to get some work done over lunch break now and get it back out for the afternoon race. A little bit more information there from my technical expert Zulu, who's off track this weekend, giving me some feedback on what's going on with the trucks. Also, we see here that it's the FIA that was going to be doing the van racing series, called the LT4 Cup, which was going to be a small van cab race series. So you never know that we might be able to get a British spin-off from that, which could be, it does look extremely exciting. Just a quick point as well with regards to these false starts and the slightly less experienced drivers joining us into the sport nowadays. I do believe it was Andrew Fulcher at Thruxton a few years ago that very, very gentlemanly said that we would like to start from the back just to get my head into the game, give me the opportunity to figure out how this whole thing works. Not sure, judging by what we've had this weekend, that starting the less experienced drivers at the front is the greatest idea, or even that safe, Dave. I don't know your views on this.
Well, it's how it's been for several years now, and it has made for exciting racing and plenty of overtaking, which is what we're here to see. We're here to see entertaining racing when we eventually get this one underway. The recovery operation still in progress down there. Just awaiting news on how this is going to affect the length of the race. Nothing through from the timekeeper's office just yet. Drivers just keeping cool on the grid at the moment. 6 Division 1 trucks there and 6 currently from Division 2 as well, I think. No, 5 Division 2 plus 1 in the pit lane. And Jonathan Willis is looking to join the grid as well in the 157. He wants to rejoin his original grid slot in Division 1. Of course, looking forward in the truck racing calendar, we're back in action in about a month's time, where we go to the fastest circuit in the UK at Thruxton. That'll be our next coverage of the British Truck Racing Championship, and they're always entertaining round there.
Yes, indeed. Another convoy on the plane event, hopefully, with COVID restrictions lifting a little bit better. The promoters and, of course, Bark and MSV will be helping us promote these events with a massive turnout of show trucks historically at the Thruxton circuit, and something, of course, that the drivers do enjoy as well. Very high speed, very little room for overtaking, so you really must make your name for yourself in the chicane just before the complex. And, of course, the top end of your vehicles is truly tested around that circuit, with it being quite a round, I suppose. It's just, I always describe it as the big circle. Of course, drivers do bring me up on that quite often, but no, a great circuit for spectators, and lots to see and do hopefully again this year with the convoy on the plane promoters bringing some off-circuit entertainment.
Well, there's plenty of off-circuit entertainment here this weekend. We've got a fun fair alongside the track. We've got monster truck rides as well. The Red Dragon monster truck team have made their way down. We've got simulators alongside the track. We've got Dodgem cars in the background as well. Maybe that's what the trucks have been watching. They've been playing Dodgems for a bit out on circuit. What else have we got out there? Plenty of entertainment for families at these truck events, and we've got some, I think, some American trucks on display at trackside as well. I've seen a few Kenworths, I think they were on display.
Couple of Kenworths, always a fan favourite. I think there was a Peterbilt over there as well, and yeah, the show truckers really have been quite a recent addition to the truck racing calendar. I think they enjoy the showing of their trucks almost as much as they do the racing, if I'm honest. But again, something that we've seen now at a couple of circuits, of course, with Donington being our biggest event 2 years ago, having 1,000 Scanias in the Scania village. That was a serious turnout. So if you do like to have a little peruse around some extremely attractive and well cared for haulage vehicles, then of course these truck racing events offer more than just the on-track action.
So hopefully we'll see some on-track action again fairly shortly. I'm just keeping an eye over towards Paddock Bend, and Adam Bint's truck being towed very carefully out of the gravel. The circuit is going to be swept by the marshals as well to stop too much gravel getting onto the circuit. You can see how deep the gravel trap is there. It has to be to stop these trucks. Yeah, it looks like some damage to the front axle on Adam Bint's truck, unfortunately, so I don't think that is going to be racing again. Yeah, you can see the damage there as it is towed away, and I would say that sadly is the end of Adam Bint's weekend.
Yes, indeed. Lots of repairs to do to the track. Back in the pits, though, we still see a lot of frantic working in the pit lane. A suspected fuel leak, I'm hearing by the looks of it. Is this something, Dave? What are your views? Is this something we should be allowed to be repairing in the pit lane? Quite the safety issue, especially with the leaking of fuel in such a highly used area. What do you think of this?
Well, the safety marshals are down there and the scrutineers just checking that everything is okay. Jock Borthwick explained that with the damage to the fuel cooler on the truck, they are bypassing the cooler on it. That's going to be removed and the fuel pipe is going to go directly through from the fuel pumps to the engine. But the scrutineers are down there making sure that it is all safe, and hopefully Jock on his debut this weekend is going to be able to resume racing from the pit lane. He should have been on the front row for Division 2, of course. It will be a 10-minute race, we've just been told by the timekeepers. We're going to have a 10-minute restart once everybody is ready and in position. The gravel's been swept away from the edge of the circuit by the recovery team and the marshals, so well done to them. And I think we're nearly ready for a restart. I can see Jock Borthwick's truck, I think, is just fired up in the pit lane. On board with Martin Gibson, sitting on the Sir Jack Brabham straights. As Adam Bint is being towed back into the paddock. Yes, the front suspension is decidedly broken on that Volvo. You can see the damage there. It's folded the front corner right in that impact. Fortunately, Adam is okay, as is Jock Borthwick, as we've seen, but I would say that's the end of the weekend for the number 5.
Yeah, such a shame, and this is just a true testament to how truck racing, or any motorsport for that matter, can go. With going home yesterday with a podium first place trophy, and then today having his dreams shattered and the rest of his days racing taken away from him in the blink of an eye, essentially. Such a shame for Adam Bint. I hope they might be able to do something, but of course you are limited to the amount of repairs you can achieve when you're down in the paddock. It might be something that they'll have to sort out when they get home. Just a few lovely shots now of the grandstand and the crowds that have gathered here today in the sunshine to view the truck racing. I can hear a lot of engines starting in the background as we look down onto the starting grid. Drivers back in cabs, mechanics shutting doors, marshals doing their final checks. Dave, I believe we're about to be going racing.
Yes, it looks like we are. Excellent to see. Jonathan Willis has joined the back of Division 1. I think Jock Borthwick is back in his truck and almost ready to go as well, so we hope that'll be all right to last the distance. He's starting from the pit lane. I think we are indeed nearly ready to go. So thanks, viewers, for your patience. We've got nearly 800 of you watching on YouTube as well. So Mark Taylor alone on the front row alongside, on the second row we have John Newell alongside Stuart Oliver, and Martin Gibson and Ryan Smith, David Jenkins and Jonathan Willis. Craig Evans heads up the slightly reduced Division 2 field. They're just awaiting the all clear now from the clerk of the course to get this race restarted. It will be 10 minutes for the restarts. Hopefully they'll all get round Paddock Bend this time. Said to be one of the scarier corners in British motorsport. You go over the crest and then drop down into the dip before the rise up Halewood Hill into Druids, like a roller coaster as you head down there, and that's in a car, never mind in a truck.
Yes, indeed. Heard Steve Thomas, previous truck racer, giving some advice to John Willis yesterday about dropping down a gear as you enter the Paddock Hill bend. Feels completely wrong, apparently, but the best way to get around without any issues. Power on as we go up the hill to Halewood Hill, and then, of course, Druids Bend is anyone's game as you try and get around that inside line before dropping down to Graham Hill. We see now the pace truck pulling away as they go for their out lap. We've got Mark Taylor again. Next row back we've got John Newell, Stuart Oliver with Martin Gibson, Dave Jenkins and Ryan Smith bring up the rear, of course, with John Lewis just tagging along at the back there. Brad Smith for Steve Powell, Craig Reed, Brad Smith, and then Bradley Smith as well as Craig Evans, I do apologise, further on in the Division 2 pack as they're coming round now, just warming up the tyres, getting back used to being on the circuit once more, and let's do hope now that we can get a good 10-minute session in to get some racing for you viewers out there.
Will it be third time lucky through Paddock Hill Bend? And the drivers had an extra briefing from David Cartwright, the clerk of the course, here this weekend. Maybe telling them just to cool it a bit through the first corner. Wait till the field is spread out a bit before we get racing in earnest. Thanks again for your patience, everyone. Third race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Mark Taylor, number 81, leads them round. This will be a 10-minute race. John Newell and Stuart Oliver behind him in the MAN and the Volvo. Craig Evans heads up Division 2 further back, ahead of Craig Reed. Stephen Powell could be the favourites here in his newly liveried MAN. Brad Smith and Bradley Smith completing the Division 2 field. Jock Borthwick will start from the pit lane. The pace truck is into pit lane. Will it be third time lucky then with British Truck Racing Championship race 3 of the weekend? They come up towards the red lights. They go out and we're underway, and a great start this time by John Newell in the number 18 with his new MAN up the inside as they head through Paddock Bend for the first time. Let's hope nobody runs wide into the gravel this time. Newell has got the lead. In Division 2 it is Craig Reed who's made a great start in the red number 68 Iveco. Stephen Powell goes through in a second. It's Newell that leads. Mark Taylor's caught in the middle. Ryan Smith is there on the outside. This is going to be frantic. There's contact on the exit of Druids. Mark Taylor and Stuart Oliver. Taylor slides sideways, and look at Ryan Smith. He's charged through. He got the line right through Druids, going round the outside, then onto the inside for Graham Hill Bend, and he's up into second place ahead of Mark Taylor, who nearly spun coming down Graham Hill But out in front it is John Newell. Leading Division 2 is Craig Reed.
Yeah, fantastic start to the race now. I do believe we are properly underway. Mark Taylor unfortunately dropping a few spaces back now, with Stuart Oliver looking to take the next position away from him. On board with Martin Gibson, as we can see him just creeping along behind looking for a space, but quite a lot of clear air behind him though. There's quite a large gap before the Division 2. Craig Reed coming onto the pit straight now, just coming past John Willis, who does appear to be struggling yet again unfortunately in this race. Steve Powell looking for a space next to Brad Smith. Craig Evans for Joff Borthwick doing a lot better in this third go at the race.
Back on board with Martin Gibson heading down Graham Hill into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Stephen Powell and Brad Smith get past Jonathan Willis, just learning the ropes in his MAN. Hopefully hasn't suffered any damage from that trip into the gravel in the first running of this race. John Newell it is, the man from South Yorkshire, who leads the way in his new number 18 MAN. Ryan Smith is up challenging him though. He's going to have a look around the outside there into Clark Curve. Newell holds him off, but Smith now in the slipstream. He's surely going to attack here as they go down towards Paddock Bend. Newell trying to move to cover, but Smith's just got his nose on the inside there. He's going to try to get past here on the run into Paddock Bend. They're side by side on the exit. Yes, he's going through. Ryan Smith takes it up and leads up the way up towards Halewood Hill.
Very nice driving. Yeah, Ryan Smith, fantastic driving there. Just one lap into the race now, and we're already up to first place again. Pulling away from John Newell as well, showing the power of the MAN engine in that Mercedes Actros. But of course, we've got Mark Taylor still in the runnings with the third position at the moment, as Stuart Oliver and Dave Jenkins battle it out further back in fourth place. Craig Reed, my goodness, making a massive advance on the Division 2 pack. Huge gaps there from the rest of the gang. We're going to see a lot of interesting racing there this morning now, as people try to make use of the time they've got. We've got Steve Powell still with Brad Smith further back in second and third for the Division 2. Division 1, of course, back now there. We've got Ryan Smith pulling ahead very nicely, almost with a 4-second lead already. Stuart Oliver just coming, pulling away there as well. Looks like Martin Gibson's not having too much luck at the moment though. Perhaps we've got some technical difficulties there, as he does appear to be quite far behind the next truck of 69 Dave Jenkins.
Division 2 pack heading up into Druids. The battle for second between Stephen Powell and Brad Smith. Jock Borthwick is going well. Bit of smoke from the 32, or maybe just steam. He's 11th overall. Craig Evans and Bradley Smith still behind him as the lead pack heads round towards the conclusion of another lap. Craig Reed continues to set the pace in Division 2. He took pole yesterday's race, and Bradley Smith goes off onto the grass heading down Graham Hill. Just lost out to Craig Evans. Don't know if there was any contact just before there, but Bradley in the very smart Iveco keeps it going. There's Brad Smith, his namesake, the Unity Recovery sponsored number 16, chasing Stephen Powell. The leaders heading up towards Druids once again. 3.5 seconds in it between Smith and Newell. Taylor in third, then Oliver, Jenkins, Gibson are your top six. John Newell is being caught here by Mark Taylor in the number 81. Then it's Stuart Oliver. There's David Jenkins. A quiet race from the man from Stafford so far, former British champion on a few occasions. Ryan Smith, the man going for his 6th consecutive title this year, is going the right way about it. He's unbeaten so far this weekend. He took the lead just a lap into this race, and look at the lead he's got here, nearly 4 seconds up on John Newell, who's being harried now by Mark Taylor.
Yeah, some fantastic driving going on this morning there, Dave. Absolutely epic effort from Brad Smith, showing us the power of his new engine for the 2021 season. Does appear to really want to make a name for himself, although Steve Powell, of course, sticking it to the man as per usual, showing why he's got all of those trophies back at the pub. Over with Division 1 now, we've got Martin Gibson just coming into Paddock Hill Bend, still not showing all the speed that he's capable of, as we saw Stuart Oliver there in the Calcer truck just going off slightly wide, wondering if he might have some traction issues as him and Dave Jenkins battle around coming out of Druids Bend. Mark Taylor, quite impressive performance there, right on the heels of the brand new John Newell truck. Will we see an overtake, do we think, there at some point in the race?
Well, Newell has actually pulled away just a little bit as they come through Surtees there. Things seem to have settled down in the battle for second place in Division 1. We've got 4 minutes of this race still to go. The Division 2 battle is still being led by number 68 of Craig Reed in the Iveco in 7th overall. Just coming through Clark Curve now. Sponsorship this year from Digraph and from Morris Lubricants on the Reed Truck Sport Iveco. Seen his brother Simon in Division 1 over the last few years. And number 32 looks to be slowing up here. That is Jock Borthwick. Oh, and there's flames on the exhaust by the look of it of that truck. He's going to have to pull in quickly, so the repairs have not worked. We were worried about fuel leaks on the 32 truck, so he needs to pull up fairly quickly there. He's going to pull into the pit area, and the marshals will tackle some flames on the back of that truck. That's the end of Jock Borthwick's race. He's safely into pit lane where the flames will be extinguished. The race continues then with John Newell still being chased for second place. This is a good run by the new MAN. It looked just a little off the pace. He was just running it in yesterday. That truck was only built over the last couple of months. Then it's Taylor and Oliver behind him. Craig Reed continues to lead Division 2. What's his gap back to Stephen Powell? It was just over 2 seconds last time through. They're coming up towards the line this time with just over 2.5 minutes of this race to go. Let's see what the gap is this time through between Reed and Powell. Yeah, 2.3 seconds for the lead of Division 2.
Yes, indeed. Looking just down to the pit lane now, I don't believe we've got the fire crew, so I think it may well be a controlled ignition that we had. Possibly an issue with bypassing that fuel coil that we were talking about earlier on in the break. Yes, good job they didn't manage to get the fire extinguishers out there, because that would have probably taken him out for the rest of the day. I do believe they're prepared for action, but all seems to be okay. As we join back now with Dave Jenkins looking for a space next to Stuart Oliver. Of course, with just 2 minutes left of the race, he might be trying to look for that gap that he's been waiting for the previous 8 minutes of the race. Of course, Ryan Smith powering ahead as per usual with a huge gap advantage ahead of the rest of the pack. John Newell still comfortably in second, with Mark Taylor relaxing into third. It'll be a great podium finish for Mark Taylor this weekend, first trophy of the season as well, so it would be a good result for him. Of course, with the Taylors transport family down in the paddock, a great bunch of people as well, so we have a great celebration for today.
He's hanging on there at the moment. David Jenkins is now pressuring Stuart Oliver for fourth position. We've got a couple of laps left to go. David Jenkins, of course, had to start from the back of the Division 1 grid, got a penalty for some contact in one of yesterday's races. Jock Borthwick safe in the pit lane. It was an oil pipe that came off the turbo, I've just been told, which caused those flames. It was a bit of oil getting onto the hot elements of the engine. The officials spotted those flames, and he did get the black and orange flag, the black with orange disc, which means technical problem, call into the pits. That's the end of Jock Borthwick's race as Division 1 heads over the line. I think we'll get this and one more lap out of this. Ryan Smith leading by 7 seconds over John Newell now. The Mercedes heading for win number 3 for the weekend.
Yes, just half a minute left now of this first race of the Sunday with the British Truck Racing, and it does appear to be quite a civil end to the proceedings after quite a few false starts this morning. Still concerned about the number 11 truck, Martin Gibson. I think a bit of work to be done before the after lunch race this afternoon to see whether he can find some of that speed that he obviously had yesterday. Just looking down onto Clark Curves now, as we've got Ryan Smith just coming past Bradley Smith. Quite a good performance from Bradley Smith, really, if we take into consideration he hasn't driven around this track before, and of course not responsible for either of the 2 crashes earlier on in the races either, which is a claim on its own, I'd say.
Well, we're on the last lap of the race now, just counted down to 0, so it is going to be a hat-trick for flying Ryan Smith in the Mercedes, but who's going to be second and third? They're heading up into Druids now. Stuart Oliver under attack from David Jenkins, that's for fourth place. It looks as though John Newell is going to hang on for second place, and Mark Taylor will be pleased with third, but can David Jenkins get through on the inside? He's having a look. Stuart Oliver closes the door at Graham Hill Bend, gets the tail hanging out slightly over the curb. Craig Reed is heading for victory in Division 2. He's increased his lead by a few tenths of a second over Stephen Powell. The win is going to go to Flying Ryan Smith in the number 1. We'll watch the battles further back for the minor placings. Checkered flag is out. Ryan Smith has come through to take the win. It's going to be John Newell who will come over in second. They've just lapped the 46 of Bradley Smith there. Mark Taylor's going to be third. David Jenkins pulls out, trying to go round the outside on the run to the line, but he doesn't quite get there. Stuart Oliver by 2 tenths of a second takes fourth, and it's going to be Craig Reed who will take Division 2. Martin Gibson dropped back into 6th position overall, but in 7th overall, here comes Craig Reed in the Iveco to take the victory in Division 2. Stephen Powell, the defending champion, will take 2nd in that division. 3 different winners in Division 2 so far this weekend. 9th overall, I think it's going to be Jonathan Willis in his MAN, and Brad Smith will round out the top 10. He will take 3rd in Division 2. Bradley Smith and Craig Evans are lapped down the other finishers. We lost Jock Borthwick, of course, with those few flames from an oil leak. Well, a lively race for the British Truck Racing Championship when it eventually got going, but still no one can hold back Flying Ryan Smith.
Yeah, seems to be the untouchable driver this season as per usual, of course, so lots of investment in that new truck, and of course with added experience over the years that he's been doing the sport now, it just goes to show what he can bring to each race. He really does, to show them how it's done. Number 1 on the name, number 1 on the badge. He does love that single finger waving win that he does when he opens the cab door back in Parc Ferme at the end of each race. It looks as though we're bringing the trucks now into the pit lane, so I think we'll be going down to Ian now. I think we'll be doing some interviews with the drivers, am I right?
He should be shortly at Pointy. Yes, thank you very much for joining us there. We'll hear back from Pointy later on for our second truck race of the day. That will be a little bit later on. Let's check the timetable to see when that is. Where's my paperwork? Yeah, the second truck race of the day scheduled for 2:35 p.m. today. And now we can hand down to Ian Waterhouse in the pit lane, who is talking to our race, hopefully Division 1 and 2 winners.
Hello everybody, welcome to Winners Row. It's a cacophony of sound down here, isn't it? Let's go this way because we've got your race winner, your Division 1 race winner, Brian Smith. And he's made it, looks like they're going. I think they're straight off actually. But he's won it 3 times so far this weekend. What a cracking result from him. I think they're headed straight off. Stick with me anyway, because what a sight this is going to be. There goes Stuart Oliver, of course, he goes through. They're just trying to get the drivers out quickly. We've got another race coming up very, very quickly. What they do at Brands Hatch, because these are so big, there's a tunnel that obviously they can't get under, so they have to go out on track. We just better move before we get run over. And then, of course, they close the whole circuit off, so you can't get in or out once these are on track. Here comes Martin Gibson, number 11, just behind him. Craig Reed, truck 68, that's your Division 2 winner. There goes Craig Reed, let's give him a thumbs up. He's your Division 2 winner. It's such a wonderful noise we've got down here. It's deafening. It's an amphitheatre of sound. There goes John Willis. Unfortunately was the cause of the very, very first red flag, but he managed to get back out as well. We'll just wait for the rest of them to come through as well. In fact, we're going to have to go. I can see the pickups on track. I'm going to hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard, to take you through the pickups.